We live in a city where, if we take a moment to look around and analyze our surroundings, we can see how much history there is all around us. The Old State House is one of the oldest public buildings in Boston, dating back to 1713. It is located at the intersection of Washington and State Street. The Old State House is no longer the site of provincial government. Instead, it is now a historic place that can be visited and where one can remember all the amazing history of our beautiful city of Boston has been a part of. The Old State House is one of the most historical places in Boston. It has been the main site to more than a handful of events that has made Boston the place that it is today. Before the building we know as the Old State House was built, there was a wooden structure in its place better known as the townhouse. In 1711, the townhouse burnt down, and immediately after the incident began the building of the Old State House, which was finished in 1713. However, what is now known as the Old State House wasn't constructed until a fire destroyed the interior and renovations were made in 1747. In the year 1770, right outside the walls of the Old State House, an event occurred that is very well known to all of us, the Boston Massacre. The Boston Massacre was when a burst of conflict evolved into violence and 5 Bostonians were killed. The most well-known among the 5 was Crispus Attucks. Outside the wall of the Old State House is a circle of cobblestones that marks the place where the Boston Massacre occurred. 6 years and many battles later, from the balcony of the Old State House, the Declaration of Independence was read to the Bostonians. That same year, a previous version of the lion and the unicorn on top of the Old State House were taken down and burned. The sculpture of these 2 sculptures is unknown, but what is known is that the lion and the unicorn located on top of the Old State House were symbols of the British Empire. Tearing the 2 down and burning them was a very symbolic way of showing the independence being declared from Britain. Massachusetts State House. This did not last for too long, however. By the year 1798, the new State House was built, and the Old State House no longer served as the Massachusetts State House. It instead got renovated and turned into private shops. Amongst these shops, there were wine merchants, wig makers, and even a restaurant. For the next couple of years, the building goes from being used as a commercial place to becoming the Boston City Hall after being renovated by Isaiah Rogers and William Washburn in 1830. The Old State House continued to serve as the Boston City Hall for the next 10 years, and in 1840 returned to being used as a commercial building for the next 40 years. Throughout the years, minor renovations are made, but the infrastructure remained the same. In the year 1881, a society better known as the Bostonian Society was founded to preserve the history behind the Old State House. Quote, "The Bostonian Society is dedicated to studying and preserving Boston's uniquely important history. Even to this day, we have the Bostonian Society, still dedicated to preserving the beauty and history that is within the walls of this building. Boston is a beautiful city filled with so much history, and as Bostonians, we are lucky to have all of this right at our fingertips."
international manhunt is now underway for the person or people responsible for a deadly terror attack at the Boston Marathon.
Blood stained the sidewalks of Boylston Street.
3 people dead, including an 8-year-old child, and many, many more injured.
An unthinkable scene in Boston this afternoon.
As we bow to our knees and pray, I thank the Lord for giving me the strength to see another day. Take a step into my world, let me show you how I live it. And pray for Martin Richard, who never saw his daddy cross the finish. And Crystal Campbell, 29 years young, waiting for her friend to cross. God only knows what she'd become. Watching little boys and girls screaming, they grieving. Parents on their knees, looking up to God to find a reason. Ripping down the barricades, fighting. Total chaos, I bet that little Lou wish she had never took a day off. Everybody got a demon that they dance with, but tell me why the fuck you take another person's life? I can't explain it. So mad that I can't sit still, popping pills just to balance out the pain. Cause I can't help the way I feel, so you can run and hide from the cameras and newspapers. Cause we the people are rising to the top like skyscrapers up in Boston. Everybody put your hands up. If you rep it for the city, go ahead stand up. And pour some liquor for the ones that passed, and everybody that we lost along the path.